What are some other ways to do just that? When it comes to building the community, a lot of people, obviously, the live event, there's a great community. Sometimes there's follow-up, sometimes not. But beforehand, what are some of those tactics that people can use to really start building a good community? And also, you mentioned the megaphone, other ways that maybe meeting planners fall short on that, but ways to get it going before people walk in the room.
Yeah, so you have to think about who your community is, because every community behaves a little bit differently. So the first thing that you need to do is listen. Before you shout anything, listen to them. See the things that they are talking about, whether it's on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on your own blog, but see how they're interacting and see how you can take those kinds of discussions to the next level. Most people love to share their knowledge and talk about themselves, right? Everybody's favorite topic. So find ways to get that dialogue going. It could be a poll. It could be a question of the week. It could be a Twitter chat where you have a special hashtag that's running in concert with your event that you're doing months and months before the event. So people are used to having these dialogues that are attributed to your event before the event. And so there is no too early when it comes to having these engaging conversations, but you want to elicit their knowledge, their feedback. You know, one of the tricks of something called crowdsourcing, when you get ideas from the crowd, is that the crowd starts to take ownership over that. And when you feel like an idea was part yours, or that you were additive to a meeting or to getting a speaker there, or whatever the question or the engagement is, they're more likely to show up because they feel like they're a part of it. So it could be setting your education. It could be who do you want to see in the exhibit hall. It could be, you know, what are these best practices again? You know, involve them in every aspect of the meeting and get their buy-in, and then they bought in, right? They have a vested emotional interest. And while a lot of people make dollars and cents choices, many more people make emotional choices. And if you can connect them and you can get that emotional hook, then you're in really, really good shape.
And how about after those events? What are some things that could happen, whether it's done by planning ahead or, like you had mentioned, things happen the week before and people show up to a conference or a 20-person event even. What can be done at that event to foster communication afterwards? Because you know how it goes. I mean, speaking at these conferences and attending.
Yes.
It's great, but then afterwards, sort of an email with a survey of what did you think about it, the community is not fostered. What has to be built in at that conference to build a community afterwards? What kind of things should people be doing?
You know, I think that this whole idea of engagement is not a one-and-done thing. It's not one-stop shopping. You do it one time and, hey, we're done. It's something that you have to continue to do. So you start the party beforehand, right? You have the pre-party online. Then you have the big party. But some people aren't done partying, so you have the after party. And so at the event, you make it really, really clear, these are the things that we've learned, and we're going to continue this discussion. We're going to follow up with you to see how you're implementing these ideas. We're going to follow back up and see what else you've learned. And so you make it very, very clear at the event that they're learning things, but they need to implement them, and that you're going to be almost like a coach of sort, or an accountability partner to make sure that they're doing the implementation. Because one of the things I see at conferences all the time is that you have this incredible knowledge that's imparted, and then people walk out of there and a day later they've forgotten it. So if you can find a way to make them accountable, so maybe it's, you know, on your blog, you have people who are checking in once a week. Maybe you continue with those Twitter chats. Maybe you have other discussions on Facebook where you're continuing the dialogues, creating the accountability, and creating the community. That's what's going to create loyalty to your event, create engaged people who not only are going to want to show up again, but they're going to tell everybody else. They're going to go, you know, this conference, this meeting is so different than anything that I've ever been at before, because it continues to challenge me and to push me throughout the year. So I know I'm not just getting a great takeaway at the event, but it's something that keeps on going. And that is so critical, and that's where social media can really be leveraged in a very different way than most people are doing with this megaphone, you know, me, me, me.
So in addition to what we talked about here, and I know there's a lot of ground to cover, when you're going to be speaking at the upcoming TechCon for Meeting Professionals International in Chicago,
yes,
what are some other tidbits? What are some other tidbits that people can expect to hear live in person when you're there?
All right, so we're going to actually get into some case studies. We're going to talk about, big companies, big brands that have done this totally backwards so that you can avoid the same types of pitfalls. We're going to talk about what customer loyalty means right now, because I think that, again, with social media, there's a movement in the right direction, but because it is so new, a lot of people have bastardized that, for lack of a better word, and taken it in sort of the wrong direction, and give you some really good tips, whether you're focused on the exhibition space or focused on engaging people in a hybrid event, some really specific tangible tips that you can implement so that you can meet your goals, whatever they happen to be.
Excellent. Well, definitely looking forward to that. And if you're watching this online right now, that link will be below the screen. Keep an eye out for it. And again, thank you very much, Carol, for being here. And
Thanks.
Everyone, be sure to check out Carol. Again, it's carolroth.com, and the Twitter handle is @CarolJSRoth, R-O-T-H. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Mark.